Ah, you see I'm a beginner at this. Oh my god. There we go. I was just saying, second time on stream, going so much better. Need to unmute. Welcome back, everybody. So, second time. Oh my god. This is actually so much fun. I've thought about this a lot last weekend and I really enjoy it. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do like more of these things. So yeah, probably you'll see me more often. But for now, Wednesday probably every week. So that's a good start. So welcome back. I see some familiar names already. That's amazing. Yeah, mic muted. Oh, the YouTube comments are actually a little bit behind. Welcome Sean as well. Sean is in the YouTube chat. He's also a Cal.com engineer. So he's probably gonna watch my ass to make sure that I write proper code. But today is also a small celebration stream as well, because right at this moment, I actually want to push the button to also release 2 new modules of my Frame of Motion course. So that is also gonna happen right now. So that's probably what we'll be starting with. Just pressing some merge buttons and pressing a send newsletter button. And then we will start coding again. Oh, and one more thing, I'm actually thinking of doing like 1 hour of work, then a 15-minute break, and then another 1 hour of work. And that will probably be it for the Wednesday stream. I think it's good if we take some more breaks, right? So let's get started by getting that course merged. There we go. There we go. I already created the branch. And it's also fun to see, like, the only thing that I need to do to release my courses is all these course files are markdown files. So the only thing I literally need to do is remove this boolean under development, and then the soon label disappears and you can click through it and you can see the courses. So everything I'm working on is actually immediately going to production, and I'm only using this boolean to make sure that you can't click on it, but I can click on it in production. So let's go ahead and click that merge button and hope there is no error on the deployment side. Merge, confirm. There we go. Welcome Robson from Brazil. So much fun seeing people from all over the world. Sean is saying from the Cal team, he will not judge the master. Oh, that's too kind, Sean. If you watched last week's stream, you've also seen me struggle a lot. So I'm not a real master, unfortunately. I just try to pretend. Also fun to know, by the way, my platform is both Next.js or part Next.js and part Astro. Because my whole course platform is built in Astro right now, because I really like that. And I was having quite some issues with the app directory in Next.js, unfortunately. So I decided to build a course platform in Astro, and that is actually going really great, really enjoying it. But that also means that there's like a monorepo with 2 apps that I'm actually with Vercel, like putting on the same domain. So this is actually running on courses.frontend.fyi, but then I'm using the next rewrites to make sure that we fetch the data from the courses.frontend.fyi, so I can just run my own platform on frontend.fyi/courses. So yeah, maybe feels a little bit like a hack, but yeah, it's working okay for me now. I really want to move everything to Astro pretty soon. But that's also why you see that this build is cute, because the main frontend app is now probably building. And in Vercel, I only have 1 concurrent build. Welcome, Phil. React senior developer from Germany. Amazing. So let's hope this speeds up a little bit. Otherwise, we're looking at loading screens altogether, which is boring, right? But I also already prepared like a newsletter that I'm going to send out to everybody to share about this new module. Also prepared a tweet So hopefully, if the build succeeds, we'll be done in a second with this. And then maybe we can already have a quick look at the Figma, what we've been working on last week. Because last week we started with the... So last week we started by building the main hero. So that's actually... I'm not really sure if we're going to continue with that today. Because I did some work off stream to make these cards work. Because that was actually, well, I think the most complicated part. Especially because if you zoom in, you see that there's these lines here. And, well, the designer thought, oh, you know what? It's actually really nice if we make some scrolling animations that you see these two cards move in closer to each other. And I mean, yes, we can make that, but that's also kind of hard to do. And that is what we found out on stream as well. So I can show you in a second what my progress is on that as well. But yeah, I'm not fully there yet. But I think instead of keeping working on this on stream for like 2 hours, we're actually going to continue with a few other sections and set up some like main shared components for all of these different sections. Because if you scroll through them, you see that all of them have this text part, title, the eyebrow component that we created in the last stream. So I think it's actually pretty nice if we start with that and then see where we can take it from there. Because then we also get some more body to the page. Oh, Sean is also asking, did you get a chance to look at my message about the colors? Yeah, Sean, I saw that you said something about like the different kind of tokens you are using. I saw it. I didn't properly look into it yet because I mainly focus on these cards. So I will probably look at that later. Welcome, Lewis. Good to see you back as well. Anyone else that I missed who's for the second time on this stream too? I want to wish you welcome back, if you can say it like that. So let's see. Build done. Yes. Oh, and this 404 is also funny. That is because we're running on this custom courses from the FYI platform, but the URL is actually not reachable. And Vercel tries to create like the preview from there. So that is actually working. Let me quickly refresh production. And then we see 2 new modules that are available. Yeah, amazing. So these 2 modules are all about, first one, stepping up our game, like going into more advanced animations, exit animations, for example, animation variants, which is a really cool feature in Framer Motion to also make your animations a lot cleaner and have less repetition. But it also unlocks things like, for example, animating child components and so-called staggered animations, where you animate elements one by one with a short delay. And these kind of things are actually what we'll be looking at in this module. And you can also see if you preview this lesson, which is actually free, you can see the type of components that we'll actually be building. This is the card animation that we'll be creating with exit animation. So if you remove it, really remove it from the DOM, then you still see this nice animation happening. These are the animation variants, which we use to actually make like this quote carousel component. But then we only use the variants to control like the state of the carousel, and then all of the other animations just adjust automatically. And that's actually, I think, a really cool way to use the motion variants. Welcome, Fab. Welcome to the stream, first time. Good to see you. And then the last one is the staggered animations, where we will actually be creating a menu animation where you see all the items fade in one by one. And then as the last module, that's actually all about responsiveness, where we talk about different things on how you can make your animations responsive, and also a little bit about CSS on how you can make your animations responsive without using media queries. Because if you don't need to use them, if your code is responsive out of the box, then you also might not need to make any responsive animations. And then we can also see what we'll be building as the end result. And that is actually this notifications component, where the notifications will fade in from the right on desktop, because you can imagine it's very wide view. But if you go to mobile, it's pretty narrow, and then all the notifications will move in from bottom to top. So you can see the difference. If we click it, you saw it move to the right, and now it will come back from the right. And if we switch to desktop, mobile, you will actually see them coming in from the bottom. So those are the different things that we will be learning in both of the new modules. But yeah, that seems to be up and running. So let's quickly send out a newsletter and then we can actually start coding ourselves. Continue, publish, publish and send. Amazing. 375 people on the newsletter already. It's great. If you're not on the newsletter yet, definitely go to newsletter.frontend.fyi and you will get the next one as well. Also, add the tweet, and that will probably be it. So I guess it's time to start coding. All right. This one is still up and running. No, it's not. Welcome, Devraj. Welcome to the stream. All right, so that should be up and running. Let's see. There we go. That welcome sounded very Dutch. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense since I'm Dutch, right? So this is actually the page that we are building, and you also see that I played around a little bit with these different cards, but they're far from in the correct position. I'm actually kind of vlogging this process, so it's a little bit of different type of YouTube video simply because there's a lot of exploration. So I'm kind of vlogging this right now, so working a little bit, and then I do some voiceover so I can explain you what I did and what I tried. So that will be up on YouTube as soon as I finish this component too. And I think that's actually really fun to watch. But yeah, it's not perfect yet. And also, these are still SVG components now, which is good, I think, because it makes it really crisp, of course. But it also means, for example, like the thickness, I created an image right now, and you can see it here, which is lacking that thickness, while in the design it does have it. So that's just a copy paste mistake from my end, but I just decided to keep on going for now. You also see that I cut off a part of the image here. That is also a mistake from my end. But the thing is, what I'm doing here is, you can also see me here with the illustration. It's kind of complicated because there's these lines, these cross points. And if you look in the design, you see that that is where the image gets positioned. So I sort of need to know where these positions are to be able to place them in the right position. So I'm trying to make a 12-column grid here, and then I move the lines just a little bit so they end up with a specific column. So that way it's a lot more predictable for me where these columns are or where these points are. But that also means that these images need to have a really specific width and height, so they also fall in the correct place. So that's what I'm actually was experimenting with. But I think I really need this to be pretty predictable in order to make this animation even work. But yeah, as you can see, there's like a lot of trial and error here still. So it's not worth it to dive into that right now because it would be very boring looking at my thinking face, I guess. So what will we be doing then? Well, I think we'll continue with the next sections on this page, and we start to set up some of the sections, add in some of the content, and then see if we can start working on this carousel, I guess. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if we go back to the code, Yeah, you also see I'm kind of calculating stuff here and keeping my notes. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the right direction yet, but I keep on trying because I keep getting closer and closer. Oh, and there should of course be a dot in here. Yeah. Thinking my life decisions right now, whether this is a smart direction or not. But that's why I said for now we're gonna skip it. So we have this hero component, and if we go back to the atoms page, well, that's the only thing that we've added just now. So I think it makes sense that we start adding the next sections and see which components are shared. So let's see, we're gonna create the atom section. For the people new to the stream, you see that we have a directory called sections and then atoms. So we're actually gonna add all of these sections in there. So let's create a new file called the atoms. Okay. For now, it's going to be an empty section. And if we look at that hero component, you see that there's also a container component that we've already used, which actually makes sure that the content is centered. So we're also going to reuse that component, of course. Container. And then what I also notice is that every section has like this divider line at the end of this section. This one, here you see 2, here as well. Every section except like these last 2. Well, you could of course say that they're like kind of combined. Plug and play maybe. Because I think that could work. If we just do it like this, we could say atoms, and then we're gonna add the atoms component in there. And then this page layout component doesn't accept the class name. No, it does not. We could of course change that, but that's main. Yeah, I think the easiest is just to wrap it in a div here. Because then with Tailwind, we can say divide y, and that will already add that border for us. You see, then we get that divider line in between all of the different sections. And I think that's actually the easiest, because then we don't need to repeat ourselves within every section. The only requirement is that if we have 2 sections that don't have that line, we need to wrap them in one div. So if we go back to the code, we need to do this. And then have section 1 and section 2 inside of that. So that way the divide y will only add the line to this outer div. I think that could work. So let's go on the atoms again. And then looking at the design, there's a white background. Hey Dante, welcome to the stream. Yeah, perfect. Then there is also this padding, which also seems to be equal for every element, but I think we have to repeat that, otherwise we would make a section component, but for now, I don't think that makes a lot of sense because the padding is the only shared thing. So let's not do that for now. So the spacing to the top is 116 pixels. Yeah, same everywhere. Divider or section changes background color. Yeah, there actually are background color differences. For example, here you see that we have these blocks in the background, which I'm not sure about yet how we're going to do it because we want to try to make them pulse. So I don't have any idea on how to do that yet. So that one is different. This one is white again. And then this one is gray, but doesn't have the blocks. So we could make a component that has 3 different types of background options, but still, I'm not really sure if it would be worth it to create a component out of that. So if we find out more things that are reusable, then I will refactor that later. Yeah. So if we have 116 divided by 4 gives us 29. Oh, what is the padding Y? What's the largest number we can get? 24, 28. I think that's the closest then. 28 will be 112 pixels. Yeah. Oh, good question, Dante. Cal, I did introduce him the previous time. I didn't do it now. It's actually a really cool startup company. I'm not sure how you will call them nowadays, but a very cool company, and they're actually open source. So if you go to their website, what they actually do is they make this schedule tool similar to Calendly, if you know it, but then in my opinion, a lot better, a lot more user-friendly. So what you can do is you can create these links where you have your own calendar and people can book you. So they can book a slot. It's connected to your Google Calendar, for example, or Outlook. You can book a slot and then people can meet up with you. You can integrate with Zoom, Google Meet, and so many more integrations. And again, it's fully open source, so it's on GitHub, so you can see how the app works. You can even make pull requests, which is actually really cool. That's also how I initially got in contact with them and ended up working for them too. So yeah, definitely check out their GitHub and their website, cal.com. So back to the atoms. Looking at this, I think that the title is actually a shared component because, well, we see it pretty much everywhere. So I think we're going to make a component called section text, for example. And let me double check their homepage to see if it's not used anywhere else on the page. And this is only text. This one we already made a reusable component to. Let's see. These are all custom content pages. No, it doesn't seem like it's something that's used already. Teams, no, completely different. Pricing, also not. Plans. Platform. No, I think it makes sense to only make them reusable for now. Oh, this is funny, by the way. What you see here is an overflow, because I think this component has an overflow, some sort of overflow. Let's quickly check it. Overflow scroll, yeah. And what I have as a setting on my Mac is actually, if you go into, I'm not really sure if I can show my system preferences on stream. But if you go into system preferences, you have the option to always show the scroll bars. macOS, always show scroll bar. Yeah, it's this settings, show scroll bars always. And what it will do is actually it will always show the scroll bar even if there is no overflow. But what that also mimics is the behavior that Windows, for example, has. They have these scroll bars always visible. So in this case, you will at least see issues like this, because most people on Mac, they don't see this issue because the scroll bars are automatically hidden on macOS. You also wouldn't see it here on the right, for example. And this helps you spot these kind of issues a lot quicker. So it probably should be overflow auto here, because then there is no scroll bar by default. Overflow auto. And then if it appears, then of course the scroll bar will be there. So that's funny that we spotted that. Actually, let's see if we can fix it. Why not? We already have the repo open. Here, logos. Overflow. Where's the overflow class? Huh. Oh, there's a different one. Customers. Here, overflow auto. That's fixed. Cool. My calling, Black Roger. My calling actually isn't public. Well, part is public. If you go to my Frontend FYI website. Oh, I think it's mentoring. Oh no. I actually do have a page where I offer mentorship sessions. And there you find a link to mycal.com. So you are able to find my Cal link because there's also a lot of blah blah, but also some sessions that I do offer for you to talk to me and help you if you want. And that actually links to my Cal page. There you go. Oh, I now see Sean in the Twitch chat also saying, I will fix it. But now it's fixed, Sean, or at least it will take a bit until that gets merged, but yeah. Is fixed. So back to coding. So we have this section text component. And then we're going to add some props on there. Let's look at the design, because it has like title, text, and probably eyebrow. Yeah. Title, string, text, string, or text could be children, I guess. Yeah. Without the typo then, children. Eyebrow. We make it required for now. Let's see. Title, children, eyebrow. Then we can render the children here, which should be a paragraph in a minute. And then we have like this H2, yeah, which is a title. For H2, there's actually this heading component. So we can render the title in there. And then I believe it had a prop, which is size, as, and the as prop is H1, H2. So we can say as is H2. And then the size we'll figure out in a minute. And then we have this eyebrow component. Eyebrow banner, text eyebrow. So now we have this reusable component, and we should set the prop still, or the types, like so. Then we go back to this atoms section, and then we can say section text. Paste the text in there, get the title, as well as the eyebrow. Perfect. Let's see if that works. Ooh. Right. So let's see. Oh yeah, TypeScript wasn't updated for some way. I don't know, but somehow the TypeScript check in this repo is kind of slow, I guess, because it's super large. But yeah, it took a little bit. Hey, welcome Bogdan. So we made the href required because we said it should have an anchor when we created it last time. Now it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So we actually need to refactor that. Now with TypeScript, that's always kind of a challenge because you can do, for example, href, we can make it optional. Now we could say const eyebrow component is href, and then it will be the link component, and otherwise it will be a paragraph, for example. Because now we can make this dynamic, but of course all of the props, they don't match, because like the link tag, the paragraph tag doesn't accept these props, which of course it shouldn't also. And this with TypeScript, I'm always struggling with a little bit to do it in a proper way. So I tend to do it just a little bit different, that we just say, no, I saw some variant calls here. They're in there, yeah. I tend to do it like this, where we just say const eyebrow class names. Then we're gonna copy this. And also copy this. Then we can say eyebrow content. Or we could even like make this a whole separate component, but okay. Also not really happy with it. Because then we could do something like, if we have an href, then we return this one, and otherwise we return like a paragraph with the eyebrow content. It should be lowercase then. And this is also with TypeScript always a challenge, because now it says it's undefined, even though we're checking it here. TypeScript struggles. So much fun. Oh, wait. Right. So it's fine. Yeah. Then we can remove this, and then this one we should add class name. This could work. It's not the most prettiest, But at least for TypeScript's sake, it's a lot easier to understand, I guess. Anyone who has opinions on doing it like this? I mean, we could, of course, make this a component. I mean, why not? That makes it already a lot prettier. We just say like so, and then we just extract the exact same props. It doesn't need the href anymore. Yeah, but then we only need the href, so we can also do rests. So we just take all the other props, remove this, pass it on there. Yeah, I think this could work. Now we have this child component that we just use inside of this component, and then we do an if statement based on whether it has an anchor or not. And then at least we don't need to do any TypeScript shenanigans. Yeah, I think this is what we're gonna do. Let's see if it works actually. Yes, we have an atoms banner. Although I also see we need to do some more CSS because this one had the prefix that isn't there now. Which is the icon. So why doesn't it have this padding on the left? Let's see. So, there is an empty span in there. Wait. Why is the span empty? Because we have no batch text. Oh, and batch text is not optional, but it should be. Oh, now TypeScript is also updated and it says, this is not correct. So we're gonna make the batch text optional too. And then in here, we're gonna say, if we have a batch text and the icon is also optional. If we have a batch text or an icon, then let's make sure they're both Booleans. Otherwise, React will also do very weird things. Okay, so now we don't render this span if we don't have a batch text or don't have an icon. Yeah. Let's see if the padding is better now. Not really. So this thing does, oh yeah, it does have a very small padding. So the padding isn't correct probably. So there is 16 padding actually, except when there's this icon. And then this one is smaller. I guess it makes sense to always have 16 padding, and then if the batch is there, we pull it slightly to the left. Px of 4. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. P of 1, PR2. So PY of 1 and PX of 4 brings us closer. Let's double check the Y padding too. It seems that this thing is just a little bit bigger in general. 8, so that's 2. Yeah, I'm gonna make that 2 for now. So then it's a little bit larger. Oh, we also shouldn't have a hover animation if it's not clickable. We also should fix that in a second. Dev mode in Figma for quick access to computed properties. Well, let's see. See, I've never used this before. It's telling me all these things because I found it a little bit confusing. Like, you see this code snippet, of course, doesn't even show properly. Ah, like this. Oh, that's actually useful. Right. Oh, now I get it. Thank you, Nature's Wonders by me. This helps a lot. That's so much quicker than constantly inspecting it. Cool. So and this one has just a little bit less padding. So maybe we want to make that, we can make a large and a small variant, but could be that we're complicating things too much now. What I'm at least gonna do is that we're gonna move the batch to the left. Minus left of 2. Yeah, so then at least that gap becomes a little bit smaller. Yeah, I really like that dev mode. I just never properly looked at it, I guess, because this is really nice. I've always seen like these automatic style sheet things, but I never really liked them because I want to write my own styles, right? But that's also probably because I have bad memories of these, I don't know, Sketch, for example, who also used to do it and just generated horrible code. But this is also really useful. So yeah, I guess variant colors. I'm thinking if we already should make this dynamic here on stream, because it's a little bit boring to look at if I add these different variants to it, small and large. Yeah, we're just gonna do it. Size, small, or, well, let's make it medium because it's definitely not large yet. Make it optional. And we're gonna say size is equal to medium as a default. And then for the class names, we're gonna move that into the component. So we can also say const eyebrow size class names. I'm not sure if they are actually already using class variants authority in the website too. I don't think so. Because that's actually a nice package which you can use to what I'm about to do manually, do a little bit more automatically for you. Yeah, it's installed, Sean, but probably in the web app then, not on the website. I'm also wondering if it makes sense because literally the only thing I have to do is, for example, this. And then we're going to use And this one, yeah, we have to merge them together too. I think it makes a lot of sense to just use it here. Yeah. Welcome back, Renner, to the stream. Glad you're watching again. Yeah, I think we're just going to use class variance authority. CVA, yes. Let's add a package. Oh, not again. I wanted to run this one. Perfecto. Belkacem, they say frontend is not actually development. Just make a simple button that handles all cases and you will see. I agree. If you're like creating a button and all these different variations and things like that, yeah, stuff can definitely become quite complicated and you have only made a simple button. Yeah, so true, unfortunately. But also so much fun. At least I think the end result is always really fun. If you just have then this component that just works really well, yeah, that's so nice. So if you look at CVA, it is pretty much what it looks like. You create this object where you enter the shared styles as the first argument to that function. And then you have this variance object where you enter some different variants. For example, intent will be a prop of the button. Then you will have primary, secondary, and then you add all the different class names that you want for that specific variant. And then the thing CVA does is if you just run that function, you get all of the different class names. And that is, well, so much easier, I think, than trying to do this ourselves. So we're actually gonna import CVA. CVA. Eyebrow class names, because then we can go ahead and copy these default class names, adding them in there, and then we can add that second object where we're going to say size, and then we're going to make small and medium. Copilot is already auto-completing things. Of course, we need to have different padding, so let's just make it padding 2 and padding 8 for now so we can see something work. The package is such blessing. Yeah, I also really like it. It makes it so much easier and gives you a lot better overview, actually. So it's complaining, oh yeah, because we need to nest it in a variance object, right? Yes. Variants, like so. Yeah, I think TypeScript is now still being very slow. I guess this will work in a second. Because then we can say const class names is eyebrow class names. And then we simply pass in that size. And what that then will do is it will take these default class names and it will also, based on the size prop, pick either small or medium for it. So that's working. And now this one is still complaining. It's not assignable to type parameter undefined. Yeah, but it's also still not saying we don't use this. Yeah, there it goes. Oh, that's so annoying that TypeScript is so slow in this project because you're thinking you're doing something wrong while you aren't. So that also means we need to remove that padding here, of course. Oh. So the padding 4 was actually the medium variant, right? And then I'm going to make this 2 and 1. And then you can also say default variance size medium. But yeah, you can decide either way because we're also setting it to medium here. So it will also be default medium as well. So I think that makes a lot of sense to do it only in one place and not in two. But this should now work, I think. This one is still okay. That one is of course still large, but we should be able now to go into that component, the hero. And then we should be able to say size is small. Yes, there we go. But then we also need to remove that batch negative margin that we added because we don't need it anymore. And now we have a large and a small banner or eyebrow. Nice. So yeah, I'm not sure what to say about this because we added quite some code, or at least it took us quite some time to have a small and a large variant. But I think the end result is actually really nice because now we also, well, we do it in a proper way, I think. This reached so much nicer than if we would have these two objects and we needed to concatenate those two class names together ourselves. Yeah, I like it. Sorry for the water. Tailwind IntelliSense. They actually write something about that, Cody. It's here. What you actually need to do is you need to change your VS Code settings.json and add in this regex, regex, I guess in English. So it actually recognizes the two different types of class names, and then you should get the auto-completion. Oh, and yes, this one is also still a valid comment. Here they're saying handling style conflicts, and we are already using, I think, Tailwind merge within the marketing website too. But what this is actually doing is they're adding Tailwind merge around the button variance function. Because what Tailwind merge does is if you would add a class name twice, like padding X, for example, then it will remove or will only use the last one in your string. So if you add padding X and then 25 other styles and then again padding X, only the last one will be used. Whereas if you don't use Tailwind merge, it's not necessarily the one you add last, but it will depend on which is the last in the CSS file that gets applied. So using Tailwind merge is actually also a good point. In our case, it wouldn't really be needed because we only add padding in our variants, but let's say you also had padding X here, then it would add it twice, and it just would depend on random luck almost if your component would work or not. So I think it's good to already add it in here. And I believe they had a custom class names package. Items. Let me double check. We used it last time, I believe. Oh, here I saw it. It was the CN package. So they made their own small wrapper around this, which actually uses Tailwind merge. So I think I just stick to that convention and use that component or that function. So go back to the eyebrow. Oh, and we actually already had it in our component. Haha. So easy. CN, so we at least prevent someone from adding multiple class names. Yeah, thank you, Lewis. I just found it. It's a CN package indeed. Okay. Cody says, so it's a read the doc situation. Yeah, kind of, but also, I mean, there's always so much written documentation, right? It's almost sheer luck if you just stumble on it or not. Okay. Oh, and we might be able to use this class names package also to remove the hover state later. Or class names package, I mean class variance authority. Because we can also create a Boolean style based on this. But that's something we do later. I actually want to work on the text sections for a bit now. Yeah, let's do that in a second. But also looking at the time, we are already 1 hour in. So I guess we'll be taking a very short break for 15 minutes. We continue at 15 minutes past, and then we continue for 1 more hour. Hi Han, you're asking if I'm using Tailwind v4. No, this is not the Tailwind v4 yet. V4 is actually in alpha, so they don't recommend using it in production just yet. So no, this is still Tailwind v3. So let's take a short 15-minute break, do some stretching. I think it's good and important. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Then we continue with this component. Alrighty, this time I shouldn't forget to unmute. We're back. Did you also get out of your chair? I sure hope so. I also tend to have the habit to keep sitting for way too long, and we already sit way too long for our work, right? So let's do some stretching. Or I did that just now. Also, hi mom! I heard my mother is watching too, so I had to say hi. Cool. Let's get back to it. I think I want to continue with this text component for now. And maybe we can also add a few more sections in a minute. So yeah, that feels like there's some body to the page and you made some progress, right? That's how I think about it, at least. Let's go back to this section text component because it's also still giving an error and it's saying that variant is required. Yeah, it's black or purple. So yeah, I guess we could say it's optional. And then for the variant, we're also going to say, we need it in the rest. Okay, let's keep it required because otherwise what we're doing here is we're destructuring. So that would mean that we need to take out the variant to give it a default and then put it back in here. So it would be way too complicated. So let's go in here and go to the section text. And then we're actually going to say variant is black. Then this one should be happy too. Once TypeScript realizes I changed some code. There you go. Oh, I'm not showing my code. Yes, thank you, Cody. You see, I'm really such a noob at this. Here we go. Now we can see code. Thank you so much, Cody. You're the only one paying attention. But I guess that's also because it's so much earlier in the morning on your end than it's here, right? Almost bedtime for me. No, joking. It's 6 p.m. Almost 6:30. So we'll be continuing for about an hour and then I'm gonna enjoy my evening. But still some work to do now. I'm thinking of this text component. It has a specific width or like kind of a max width. So we can set a max width of 680 pixels on this, for example, but we can also use the CH value, which might make a lot more sense here. The CH value actually looks at the font size and the width of the element to set the correct width. And I think that's actually a lot nicer here. Yeah, Cody, I'm also now thinking about CH. It uses the font size, but we're actually using like different font sizes here. So it will use the default, let's say, of this div. So that's also the size that the paragraph is using. I think that makes sense. I was thinking of giving it the size of the header because, yeah, really thinking out loud here. You need to give like a number of characters. You can either give it, somehow it felt more natural to give it a number of characters for the header, but I guess for the body text, that's also fine. Because we could say class name is max width, 50 characters, for example. Let's see what that looks like. And then look at the text. Because this text is probably also smaller, font size 20 pixels. And what are we currently at? Compute it. (22 pixels). Okay, let's look at the Tailwind config website. Font size. Oh yeah, we need to look at the default theme. This one, preset. Font. Oh, they don't even have fixed font sizes in a theme? Huh. Sean still there in the Twitch chat? Wondering if he knows if this is true, because I don't see any font sizes actually, which is funny. Let's see. Text dash. Oh yeah, they're extending the theme, of course, or they are using the defaults then. Okay. Yeah. Kind of makes sense. So let's go to Tailwind default theme. Theme configuration. Font size. So that means that we have 20 divided by 16 would be 1.25 rem, which is the extra large. Okay, we go with that for now. Text extra large. Yeah, that makes it a little bit smaller. And that should be 20 pixels if we look at the computed. Yeah, that's 20 pixels. Okay, so that's good. Now let's see if the text is a sensible width. It should be just a little bit wider. Let's see if we make it 60. No, that's too wide, so it's probably 55 characters. Yeah, looking at the design, that's also where they cut it off. Oh, thank you, Renner. Renner is saying it's nice to work with me at the same time as me. Love it. He's refactoring some front-end components as well. Nice. Oh, wow. All of a sudden, there's a lot of rain. I'm not sure if that's even, if you can hear it on the mic, but I hope not. Let me double check. My girlfriend wanted to go to yoga and she said she would walk. I sure hope she's not walking. Oh, she didn't leave home yet. Okay, maybe she's not going. with this rain. That's so sad. Okay, let's also double check for the heading that we have the correct font size too. Font size 60 pixels. Now we look at this one, 48. So 48 divided by 16 is 3. So 3 rem. Then we go here, 3 rem is 5xl. Okay. Go back to the heading. Okay, so they don't have that yet, but I guess this size they're passing as a class name. So, oh, that's interesting. So they have a size 2xs and then they set text 32 pixels. Ooh, so size small is text 5xl. Depending on the size. So maybe going with this one would make the most sense. Text extra small. Belkacem is making a toast component. Nice. You're building it from scratch, Belkacem, or you're using a library to make it toast? Yeah, so I guess then using the XS makes most sense because on large that will be 5XL and then it will be 32 pixels if it goes smaller. Yeah. I think we should use that for now. Size is XS. Right. Yeah, and that also means that it fits exactly the same as in the design, so that's great. There's 20 pixels here as a gap. So that means that our heading, let's see if it also has like a margin. No, but can we add class names? Yes, we can add class names. Cost name is margin bottom of 5. 5 times 4 is 20, yes. Perfect. Nice colors on the IDE. Thank you, Coldest Moments. I also really like it. It's called Bearded Theme. Yeah, here it's on GitHub too. And then I use the arc theme within this. So I also really like it. They have many others, like 32 variations. I'm not sure what the differences are, but I like this arc version, ARC. Oh, Belkacem is building the toast component with frame motion. Nice. That's so cool. So that also means because we set the max width that everything should be kind of responsive already. Yeah, look at that. We might need to do some responsive text sizes too, but that's something we do in a bit. Also, the text size was different, I believe. Yeah, so that means, where can we find that in this inspector? Color, alias, content subtle. Content subtle. Okay. So I guess we can do then text subtle. Yeah, that's a thing. Oh, but it also makes the heading. Okay, so for the heading we then need, let's just do it different. We take this and we're gonna add another div around here. And then we're gonna say cost name is text subtle. Great. Yeah, makes sense, I think. Hello, Sulson. I remember your name from Twitter and your avatar, but I don't know what your full name would be. But still welcome. Belkacem spent 20 minutes debugging the initial state of the animation, see why the component didn't appear. But he forgot to set it to opacity 1. Yep, we've all been there. I think 20 minutes is even rather quick still. Those are the things you can spend so much time on. Silson, yeah, so there is an I missing there. Welcome back. Okay, let's just start by creating some more sections, because now we have this component, we can make them rather quick. So let's do that. Fully customizable. Let's make it customizable.tsx with an S or a Z. Oh, with an S. I guess the Z or Z then is the British variation. Yeah, I guess. As a non-native English speaker, I'm probably mixing a lot of American English and British English, just because I don't know what I'm doing. Export const customizable is like that. Section, container. We need to import a container. No, not auto-completing. No, okay. Then we copy it ourselves. Customizable container. Then we also have this section text component that we just created. There's a paragraph in there. And then we also see there's a button. We might need to add that too. But we go step by step. Copy this text. Title. We have the badge. Oh, eyebrow, not a badge. Nice. good. Oh yeah, we need to add it to the page, of course. Hello, Deep Kumar. Welcome. Let's get back to the page component. It's here. Customizable, like so. Yeah, that would also add it. That's great. Oh yeah, we need to add the padding on there too. PY of 28. Okay, continue with the next one. Get started. Let's just copy this. Saves us some time. Get started. Get started. Cody is saying the designer part of him wants to text wrap balance the paragraphs. I mean, wouldn't be too bad, especially because you see this single letter here, yeah, that makes a lot of single word. Yeah, is text wrap balance already in Tailwind, or do we still need to use the arbitrary values for that? Text wrap. Oh, nice. They already added it. Let's just do it. Because we created this component, we can just go in here and say text balance. Unless balance, they're using an older version of Tailwind, then it isn't in there, which I guess they are using. Text balance, styles. Yeah, it's not rendering. Let's just do it with an arbitrary value. Text wrap balance. Yeah. It's always so hard to say. What do you think, Cody? Does this look better? Because now also there's like too much white space here, in my opinion. But the text, of course, is balanced. Yeah, too balanced, exactly. Is there... Oh, we also have pretty. It's pretty some like medium. Oh no, prevent orphans. Oh, orphan words, right. So maybe that's already enough. Text wrap pretty, is that then that thing? Now we have 2 words instead of 1. That's interesting though. But still not a lot better, but maybe better than a single word. Let's stick with that for now. But it's already nice to see that we created this reusable component, because now all of our sections are updated too. Cool. Let's go back to the get started. Get started. Better than single, Cody is saying. Yeah, I think so too. Having 2 words better than only 1. Cool. Let's add the get started section to the page too. not importing yet. Come on. Don't make my life so hard. We're gonna do it like this. Get started. Perfect. Yeah, and that gives us the get started. Let's at least add the proper background color. So get started should be white again. BG white. Nice, nice. This page is getting some body now. Next one, feature and benefits. Feature and benefits. Fancy body, Belkacem is saying. What do you mean, my body? You mean the text? What's fancy about it? The way it's written, you mean? Feature and benefits. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Let's go back to the page. Oh, not my settings. Page. Like so. Feature and benefits. What's the background color in that? That's gray again. So that's a default page color. And now we already get to the use cases. Oh, do we really need to escape it? Yeah. Quick fix. Oh, quick fixes disable it. No. This one. Let's see if that's still rendering properly. Yeah, great. And Apos, yes. Thank you, Cody. Exactly that one, I got it. Okay, the next one. Use cases. Use cases. Right, created that component, and then we should be able to add it to the page too. Use cases. Great. Oh yeah, we copied, of course, the feature benefits, the background white. Shouldn't be there. Like so. Perfect. Gives us some body. Yeah, I like it, the progress we made. think the next step is to create this grid with cards, to just start working on that. We'll continue for 30 minutes more, I think, for today. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that makes sense to start with this component because we now have all the sections on there. Yeah, I think that's a good one to start with. We can at least add a card and then see if we already get to making it a carousel too. Mudasir is asking what font I'm using in Visual Studio. It's called Recursive Mono Casual Static. Let me just add it in the chat too. It should be an open source font, I believe. But if you Google it, you also find something paid, but it should be free too. And no, I don't mean illegally free. Scroll snap for that section with the carousel. We could try to do it with scroll snap. Then we don't need a carousel library because we probably will only go left and right. Yeah, let's do it with scroll snap. Why not? Makes a lot of sense. Let's do it. Okay, let's close down everything. Gives us clean workspace again. And then we go to the atoms section. Now we're going to create like a card component. Let's just create it inside of this section for now, because I don't think there's use for it outside of it. So if there's no use for it outside of this section, then I don't create a reusable component yet, because why create a reusable component if it's not reused? At least that's my opinion. So type card props, and the card has title, text, and an image. Title, text, image URL, string. Look at that. Copilot is, I think it's so helpful. Like this already at least saves me a little bit of time. So yeah, I like it. Autocomplete that. Then we're going to use the heading component here. And the question is even if we're going to use a background image or just use the image here. I think it's part of the content, so using an image makes sense. But then we're also going to use CSS grid. Because if we do that, we can say class name grid. For this one, we can say grid area 1.1. And we can say the same for the image. So that way they're both overlapping each other, which is exactly what we want. Oh, I don't need to copy it twice. And it also means that this one should be on top. Then we need to get the title, text, and image URL, props. And then we can go in here and we can say section, create a div. It's going to be inside the container. And we're going to add the card in there. Copilot is coming up with some text. That's good enough to build this for now. Let's just add it. Availability. Easily set your availability and let your guests book a time that works for you. Huh. Copilot can just come up with content for us too. Nice. Availability. Set repeating times. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we'll change the content later, but for now we need something to style this at least. Let's see. This element is going to be can make it a percentage width maybe. No, I think it's fine if we just use pixel width for now. 600, and then we need to make it smaller on mobile probably. Oh, this should be car props. So let's say we're gonna add a width of 600 pixels hard-coded for now. And now we're gonna say aspect square, so it's a square, so it's also 600 pixels in height. And then we're gonna give this a border, as well as a border radius, I think. Yeah, is this the border radius, the 16 pixels? I guess. That's actually a really nice interface, this. Very useful. Rounded, I don't know, 12 pixels, 16. Okay, 2XL. Perfect. Yeah, that already looks good. I mean, starts to look good. Then we have some padding, 32 pixels, so 32 divided by 4 is 8. Gives us a padding of 8. Yeah. Then the text size, and also this, it isn't really a heading, it's more a paragraph. So let's see if it's possible to use the heading component and give it an S paragraph. No. Okay. So we're just gonna make this a paragraph 2. And then we're gonna take out the font size, it's 24 pixels. So go to the Tailwind team again. Let's double check. 24 divided by 16 is 1.5, so it's 2XL. Text to XL. Hey Supra Tim, welcome to the chat. He's asking, why is this profile familiar? He saw a quote post about front-end engineering and design engineering on Twitter. Yeah, that's actually right. People shared my name in there, so glad you remembered. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, Hammond. Even though you're late, still very much welcome. Better late than never, right? But maybe it was during your dinner time that I started streaming, I can imagine. Let's see, font weight. Font weight 570. That's interesting. So that should probably be font medium. Font medium, which is 500. So it's even semi-bold, which is 600. Yep. Hello, Salah, welcome. Hey, Supratim is saying that there are so little people in the design development overlap. And yeah, it's kind of true. But also, like, what I'm showing here, in my opinion, should be what front-end development really is about. Like, making nice, sexy things. And I even shared this on Twitter the other day. Let's see, profile. Oh yeah, by the way, nice behind the scene look of the mess here. This was during the break. So what I was saying is, where is it? There was this tweet that I saw from Kilian, who is also a really cool dude. He was sharing that the design engineering vacancy by Vercel. And he was also saying that, like, this is actually what every front-end developer role should be. And in my opinion, I really agree. And I think, like, what people nowadays see as a front-end engineer is, like, in my opinion, the mediocre front-end code that we're used to from full-stack devs. And that's not to say anything wrong to a full-stack dev. But if you're really a dedicated front-end specialist, I think you should write like almost should write this or design engineer like code, because design is such a big part of front-end. Like making things look good. We make the things on the screen, and if there's only this small group design engineers that can make things look good, I don't think that should be the way it works. Oh yeah, hey, Supra Team seems to agree. Yeah. Oh, glad you saw the tweet too. The stream is 720p max? Huh. The main reason why that is probably because I'm not... I'm a noob at streaming. You're looking at YouTube, right? Interesting. I will look at that for the next time to see if I can make the resolution a little bit better. Sorry about that. But let's get back to that card. Let's see, there's some spacing in here as well, 36, so that's a 9. So that also means that if we have this section text component, that we probably should be able to add a class name on there too. Class name. And then we also get that CN package or function. So we can add a class name on there too. Like so, but I still need to import a CN. Please let me. Not auto completing. I believe it was import CN from @lib/CN. Yes. I think that worked. Perfect. So now we can go back into our section and we can say class name is margin bottom of 9. That's great. For the text, font size 18. So that is 18 divided by 16, 1.125. Text large. Chord. Text large. And it's also probably the subtle color again. Yeah. Text subtle. Cool. Oh, and there's also probably, yeah, there's a max width on there again. So let's use the CH unit again. Let's see, maybe 30 characters. Let's try. Max width, 30 CH. Let your, and where is it cut off here? Oh, of course, it's different text. Let's copy the right text now. Width 3 view, width 3. Okay, so it's just a little bit less. 25 characters. Perfect. Although it does seem to be larger, but that's, I guess, because I'm zoomed in so much. Yeah. Supra Team is so kind. He's saying he's using Arc, he's using Raycast, he loves design, he's using Figma in dev mode, which I just learned on stream, by the way. I didn't do before. Why don't we have more Twitch streams focus on just nice front-end work? Thank you so much. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make this content that I would love to watch myself as well. So that's my goal, and that's what I'm trying to do. Now your job is to bring more people towards me. Thank you so much, Cody. I mean, I'm like this gem that many people didn't have discovered, right? but we just keep going. I made sure that I personally have the funds to keep on going with this for the rest of the year, even if I didn't make any money. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm still building my course platform too. So if you're not a pro member and you like this, definitely buy my pro plan because it's cheap, even though there's only like half a course in there right now. But if you want to support me, definitely go there and buy the pro plan. It's 149 euros. It has the frame of motion course, like half of it right now, and I'm working really hard on making more content. But there is also coming like way more courses in the future. That's all part of that plan, and there's like no more cost for you ever. And this helps me to keep on going, making the paid content, but also doing things like this, of course, because I think there is so many people wanting something like this, right? But back to coding. Deep Kumar, this is your first coding stream. That's so nice. I also think you're watching on YouTube, and there's fairly little people live streaming on YouTube. I'm also not sure if it's like really the best thing to do, or at least if it's like very popular. But yeah, why not be one of the first ones, right? Speaking of the other platform, Twitch, Cody is saying, when am I going to turn on Twitch subs? I believe I need to have like a minimum amount of time streamed and also like number of streams done before it's possible. I looked at it last week and I think that's why. So I hope to do that very soon, but I need to stream a little bit more. But yeah, we'll definitely do that as well. So now we have to see how we can add these images in there. I think for these ones, it makes a lot of sense to just make them as an image instead of SVG, because SVG will contain a lot more code than if we make this a WebP image, I think. So now the thing is, how are we properly gonna copy that image? And there's one person I know in this stream that knows how to do it. Cody, how can I properly select that image? Like, I think it's good if we just have the image that's also in the square aspect ratio, so we can then just scale it to fit as well. So I could, of course, just... No. See me struggle with turning on... Oh, I need to go out of dev mode now, of course. Oh, no. Yes. I could, of course, just turn off the text, because then we already have this empty frame. Oh, they even made it a real frame, right? Where's the image, though? Oh, it's in there. No. So I'm thinking, Cody, to like copy the image like this. So the blue selected part. So we have like a square image where only like half of it is filled with the image, instead of having like, I don't know, instead of having it like this. I think that makes a lot of sense to have the square aspect ratio inside of the image too. That makes positioning it a lot easier. So I guess I could do it like this, and then I could already say export, but I also would need to like turn off the border. Yeah, but I kind of always dislike doing that because I need to change the design in order to copy some sort of image, and that feels like not the way it should be done, because then I should not forget to undo everything again. So if I do it like this, I can say export, of course, and then we can make it 2x. PNG, there's no WebP support yet, no. So we can do it like this. Yeah, Hey Super Team is saying get regular image export and then use CSS3 transform to make it like Scoot again. Yeah, I think that adds unnecessary complexity. Like if we just have the image and it's already skewed and everything, then we don't need to think about it and there's just an image in place and everything is fine. So I think in this case that's the way to go. Let's see if we go where are the cal.com project. Oh, projects, yes. cal.com. Let me also add it here. Bloop. Yes. Apps. Website. Public. Create a new directory called atoms. And then this was, what was the text again? For the booker, right? Booking calendar. Okay. Oh, it's already automatically giving it a name. That's fine. Let's go there. Cal. Bring in my finder. Packages. No. Apps. Website. Oh, I didn't do that. Booking calendar, and then we can convert it to a WebP, which is a Astro extension, which is a raycast extension, which is actually really nice. Because if we have a look, the PNG is 189 kilobytes, and the WebP image is only 60. And then we didn't even optimize it yet, so we could see if we can optimize 60. Oh, that didn't change a thing. Interesting. Oh, it also looks like it's not that great, actually. Is it an image? Text overlap with background image of the card, not a problem. Good question. We have to see. Let me quickly undo this for now. So we have the border and the text back. Whoa. All right. The overlap. I think once we go towards like mobile, we just give the image different height. For example, like a max height of 50%, so we can extend the width of the text. We have to try. I'm not sure. I find it really hard to predict these kind of things beforehand without just trying and seeing it myself. But yeah, this image is 60 kilobytes and it also doesn't look that good. How about PNG? No, it looks the same. I'm wondering, this is a SVG, right? Yeah, it is. Funny. Because we exported it at 2 times. Oh, there's something underneath here too. Oh no, that's the next card that pops in then. Oh, that's nice. Let's just turn it off one more time and see if we export it as only 1x. If it looks better then instead of 2x. No, it definitely is blurry too. Not sure if you can even see it on stream. Hey, Mr. Nike guy, welcome. No, I'll probably be wrapping up in like the next 15 minutes or so. So unfortunately, I won't be live anymore after you get home. Next time, hopefully. Maybe because if we still use the 2x, but then also I'm thinking 60 kilobytes for this image, I find it fairly large. I mean, what would it be if we would say copy as SVG And then we go to SVG, OMG, paste, 68 kilobytes. So that's about the same. Okay, let's just stick with the image for now and at least make some progress. Booking calendar, WebP. So it's inside images, atoms, and then booking calendar. Move it to the right. Where is my image? It doesn't exist. Images. Oh, is it not images? No, there is no images. Haha. Atoms. Nice. Oh, there's also some shadow I copied accidentally. So let's go back. Where is the shadow though? Group. Is there a card component? Or is it this style container? Oh, I guess that was it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now the only thing we also still need to remove is the border radius, and then we shouldn't forget to undo everything. Can we make it 0? Large, small. Zero. Cool. Yeah, that gives us a plain image we can work with. Export that to X again. Export. Ah, maybe it was also the shadow that added quite a bit to the size. Let's see. Convert WebP. $39. So yeah, the shadow almost added half of the size to the image. Wow. Okay, let's undo everything. So we get the border and stuff back again. So the designers won't get mad at us. No, there's more we can undo. There we go. Nobody knows we touched this. Thank you, Mr. Nike guy. He says he enjoyed the first stream a lot and he enjoyed watching the video afterwards. Thank you so much. DN Charlies. How did I convert it so quickly to WebP? It is actually a raycast extension. So if you add that extension, you can just hit Command Space and then you can type convert. Then it shows the extension I'm using, image modification. And then you can say to WebP. And then it just boop, runs it for you and it outputs it in the Finder and that's it. Booking calendar. Yeah, so that's working. And then we need to make the image be the full size. And we were using CSS grids. Yeah, we could still do that. Let's just remove this because we have the padding. So that means that the image is inset with the padding too. But we can also remove the padding here and add the padding to our content div. So that way the image is not impacted by the padding. And we already kind of start to see where we're going. Because now for the image, we can say width full and height full, and then object cover. Object cover. And then I guess objects bottom, right bottom. So the image is aligned to the bottom right because that's the most important part of the image. That's not fully true. What is the most important part though? Yeah, it kind of is. Oh, so the aspect ratio is also not square. It's 600 over 430. So we get 430 over 600. 600 over 430. So 1 to 1.4. So let's change that aspect ratio. Instead of square, we do 1. Is it like this? I guess so. 1 over 1.4. Oh, the other way around. So 1.4 to 1. Yes, yes. Now the image looks good. Oh, Bram is asking, every time I save, the Tailwind classes get automatically formatted. Yeah, it's actually a prettier extension. Did it auto-complete it already? Yeah. It's a prettier extension the Tailwind team made themselves. So this one orders your Tailwind classes always in the same way, but also in the way that it ends up in the CSS bundle. So if you would use two class names that overlap and you would put the second one at the last, but it would be first in the bundle, it would not apply. And Tailwind just, the plugin makes sure that the order is correct and then it puts it in the right place. So you also see which one is the one that's applied. And also highlights if you have duplicates, things like that. Cody says, it looks like the image is overflowing. That guy has a great eye for detail. Oh yeah, it looks like, and that is because our card has a rounded corner and the image doesn't because I removed it from the image. So the easiest way is just add a overflow clip on here. There we go. Because that way we could of course add the border radius to the image as well, but if someone else then adds something else that also could overflow, then we also need to add the border radius to that again. So I think just using the overflow makes more sense here. So yeah, we got some cards, or one card. Let's see if we can add one more. So we already have something overflowing. Oh, now I'm also noticing the text is either at the top left or at the bottom left, top left. Interesting. Okay. We'll also need to make that a prop. Let's add a second card in there. Copy the text already. Copy this text. Leave the image for now, because we first need to do some flexbox magic. Class name is flex and the gap. Oh, and we need to add the border and the shadow still, of course. 16, so gap 4. And then you will see that the cards start to shrink, but they should actually overflow. So let's just start for now by giving it a white space, no wrap. Does that work? Does that overflow it? No, that doesn't really work. We need to make the cards be shrink 0. Shrink 0, and we're just gonna add overflow auto because we're gonna using the scroll snap in a second as well. Let's just make it overflow auto. Yeah, now we have a nice ugly scroll bar, but yeah, getting there. Oh, and that's also interesting. We now see that we have, so the container element that we're using seems to have an overflow hidden, does it? No, it does not. Max width. That's probably because of Flexbox 2. Thinking not out loud here, how I can, because there is not an overflow, but it's probably because of Flexbox that it doesn't extend the full width. Just trying here to see if I remove the flex and then make them inline block for now. And then the grid, of course, will fail, but to see if the overflow is visible then. Oh, inline. No, we can't make it work like that. Grid, gap 4. Overflow all. 2. Is it not? Oh, I mistyped overflow. Right. Hammond is asking, what's the benefit of Arc browser? Good question. I honestly really like this kind of full screen view because the browser is not in full screen right now. It's just like, this is my desktop. And then you have like these tabs on the left. I really like this. Plus what Arc also does is it closes my tabs after 12 hours I'm not using them. And you could also make it 24 or 48. But it removes my habit from having all of the tabs open that I don't use at all. And they have like an archive where you can find what they auto close and things like that. But honestly, I never look in that. Belkacem says, people will know you have a Mac. I believe they also released a Windows version now. Yeah, Cody seems to have the same. Like he also used to have a lot of tabs open. But it's weird, right? If the auto closing isn't that special, but yeah, only Arc does it, I believe. And that to me is indeed a very, very big feature. Just cleans everything up so much. Yeah, so I still need to find out where that overflow is coming from. Because if we remove the padding, is it then visible? Yeah. Let's just take it out of the container for now. What will happen then? Yeah, that's correct. So the container does change something about the overflow behavior. I guess it makes sense to have it outside of the container. The only thing we then need to do is make sure that we can still have the starting point at the position of the text, which is kind of an interesting challenge then. Yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end this stream because that will take some time to come up with a good solution and debug. But yeah, we made some pretty good progress today. I need to wrap this up, but like I said, that will be part of a vlog that will be on YouTube, where I share my progress instead of you looking at me being silent for way too long thinking this through. But also like kinda making progress already, just need to align them to the lines, which is horrible to do. But yeah, we made these sections, we added some content in there, which is great. And now, yeah, next step is to make this carousel work. Let me double check the design. Yeah, and after we got that, the next step is making this team switcher work, which should be like a component where it kind of automatically animates between the different designs. You see these props on the left change, and then it will animate between the different steps. So that's also a really cool thing to work on, which I guess will be somewhere towards next week that I'll be working on that. And it might also be that I will be streaming like another day, either this week or next week, because this project should be finished next week. So I might be able to do another stream too, but I also need to do some work off stream to make sure that we keep the pace in this, because as you can see, there is still a lot to do. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today. Thank you all for joining. Whoa, what's this? Follower goal met 40. Nice. Nice. Exactly at the moment when we were closing the stream. Did you guys also hear the sound, by the way, that this pop-up made? I'm not sure if that's actually fed into the stream too, or that you only saw like the overlay. But yeah, still seeing that we're with 33 views, which is actually to me a big number. Oh yeah, Cody says he also heard it. Nice, that's fun. Cool. So thank you so much everyone for joining. And yeah, if there will be, that sound was the notification by Twitch saying that I read my follower goal, which was 40 followers, which we made exactly at the end of the stream. So that's amazing. Yeah. So make sure to either subscribe on Twitch or YouTube if you want to get a notification if I would go an additional time live this week or either next week. And otherwise, I'll be back next week, Wednesday. So Wednesday will be the fixed day that I'll be trying to stream every week. That wasn't really proper English, but you probably got the point. Thanks so much for watching and or joining. This is not a YouTube video, so thanks for joining and talk to you guys next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye.